Hi guys, I'm Jade and today I'm going to be doing my August wrap up. I read 5 books in the month of August and I actually read all the books that I said I wanted to read in my August TBR. So I'm really happy that I actually got to all the books I said I wanted to get to. So if you saw that, you kind of know what's already coming, but I will be telling you what I thought of the books I read. So let's get started. The first book that I read in the month of August was Revenge, Ice Cream, and Other Things Best Served Cold by Katie Finn. This is the sequel to Broken Hearts, Fences, and Other Things to Men, and it's just a really cute contemporary read. I didn't like this quite as much as I liked the first book. It just, I don't know, I think I like the plot line a little bit better of the first one, but it was still really good. I love all the characters in this book. So I do really like the narrator, Gemma, but she is kind of annoying at times and just like very like dense. I'm kind of like, really, like, did you not know that you were gonna get played by that? And it was interesting to kind of see like the repercussions of what happened at the end of the last book. And at the end of this book there is a pretty big cliffhanger, but I like totally saw it coming and I'm like, really? Like, how did you not see this coming? I think that's one of the reasons why I didn't quite like this book as much as the other one, was because I did call like a couple of things that were supposed to be like surprises. I was like, oh, I knew that was coming. Like, so I kind of like being surprised, and so this book I wasn't as surprised, I think, as the last one. It was really easy for me to call like all the stuff that was happening, but the end was really satisfying, though I'm still like, oh, you stop making stupid decisions, Gemma. I'm really excited though for the next book because, like I said, this ended on a cliffhanger and I really want to know like how things are going to go down in the last book, because things between Gemma and Hallie are definitely not settled, and I'm interested to see who Gemma ends up picking in the last book, though I think I have a feeling who it's gonna be. And Josh is kind of a douchebag in this book, so it made me like him less than in the last one. So I gave Revenge, Ice Cream, and Other Things Best Served Cold 4 out of 5 stars. The next book that I read in the month of August was An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. Ugh, this book was so good. Like, it totally lived up to all the hype I had been hearing about it, and I'm really sad that I didn't get to it sooner. I wish I had, because this book was so good. Definitely one of the best books I've read this year. It was amazing. So this book is about a girl named Leia, and her family and their people are not like enslaved, but they're oppressed by this empire that took them over, and her brother is found of treason, and so he gets sent to prison, and they're trying to kill her, and she runs away and finds these rebels to help her, and the deal is, for them to help her get her brother out of prison, she has to help them gather info. So she has to go spy on the commander of the elite training where all the soldiers go to learn how to be like lethal and everything, and so she has to go and like be her slave, and this person's a horrible woman, like no one thinks she's gonna last, but she's determined to do it because if she doesn't, her brother is gonna die. So that's her whole story, and then because this book is told from two perspectives, it is told from Leia, and it's also told from Elias, who is a soldier at the academy and is about to graduate but wants to run away because he really like hates it and hates doing it, and you kind of get to see how their stories intertwine. And it was a really great book. I really like the dual perspective, though. I did kind of like Leia's story better. I was like more excited for her chapters than Elias's chapters. It was just so interesting. Like, it's like, oh, you know, is she gonna get busted for being a spy and get her hand chopped off or whatever, because the commander is freaking insane, and she like mutilates all her slaves, and just it is not pretty. And the writing in this is really good, and I love the world building. It was just a really cool book, and I'm really excited to see where the sequel goes and to get some questions answered about kind of like the magic in this book. And this book was like very descriptive. Like, there's this thing where the mask, that's what they call like the elite soldiers, because they literally have like these silver masks that like they literally like become part of their face, and like all the description about that, like him having to like rip it off his face basically because it like is sticking in his neck. Ugh, it was so creepy, but it was like such like good imagery in this book, and I really like that. So I gave An Ember in the Ashes 5 out of 5 stars. So the next book that I read was Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. I did a whole video talking about my review on this, what I thought of this, getting into more detail, going into spoilers, and talking a lot about this, so I'm not really going to go much into this because you can watch that video, which I will leave an annotation right here, so you can click right here to watch my review on Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, and I also will be leaving a link down below. But I did give this book 5 out of 5 stars. It was my favorite so far out of the Harry Potter books I've read so far. I loved it so much, and I am so excited to be continuing on with this series. Next, I read Fairest by Marissa Meyer. This is a novella in the Lunar Chronicles series, and it's all about Queen Lavanna, who is the villain in the series. And it was really interesting to kind of get like the backstory on why, a little bit of why she is the way she is, though she's still like batshit crazy. Like, the woman has problems with her mind. Like, she's very delusional. Like, a big thing in this book is she thinks this guy is in love with her when he's not, and he's married and has a pregnant wife, and she's like, no, he's in love with me. No, he's in love with me. Like, not like, oh, I hope he's in love with me, being like literally like, oh, I know he loves me. That's why he gave me that gift. And I'm just like, girl, you so delusional, it ain't even funny. But it was really interesting to kind of like see like the beginnings of Lavanna, and that she really was treated pretty horribly by her older sister, Queen Channery, and to kind of see that her sister almost seemed like a more horrible human being than her, which I didn't think was possible, but kind of seemed like it was, though. At times, like, they were kind of right neck and neck. Like, Lavanna would go up and then Channery, and so I don't know. They're both pretty horrible human beings, so it was really interesting to read about. I didn't like it quite as much as I like the other books. I mean, it's more like a backstory, so you can get like more information on her, and I did really enjoy it. I just didn't think it was as good as the other books, and it is novella. Yeah, usually novellas aren't as good as the other books, like, obviously. But I did really enjoy this, so if you have read the Lunar Chronicles series, I highly recommend reading this so you can get more backstory on Lavanna, and it was super interesting to also see some of the dynamics of like the lunar people up on the moon. It was kind of interesting to see how their politics worked and everything like that. So you can read this if you haven't read the Lunar Chronicles series, but I would recommend definitely reading this after you've read Cress, because there are a couple things in here that like definitely like add to it if you have read the 3 books that are out currently. And then probably one of the best things about this book though was it gave you like 3 chapters of winter, and I was like, yes! I am so excited for winter. It's one of my most anticipated books coming out this year, but it doesn't come out till like November, so a couple more months to go. So I gave Fairest by Marissa Meyer 4 out of 5 stars. And the last book that I read in August was Paper Towns by John Green. I had wanted to read this at the very beginning of the month because Paper Towns came out at the very end of July, so then I could go see the movie, but I was just like not at all in the mood to read this book. I was like, kept being like, okay, let me read it. Like, I even took it to set with me one day, and then I didn't read it all. I just talked to people because I really wasn't in the mood to read this that day. So finally, after I finished Fairest, I was like, okay, I only have one more book on my TBR that I want to read this month, so let me really try to read this. So I took it to set with me last Friday and like put on my headphones. Luckily I didn't really have like friends there that day to like distract me, so I like put on my headphones and started reading. I was just like determined, like, okay, I really need to sit down and read this, because I knew once I like sat down and started reading this, I'd be good, but I just need to sit down and like get to it, which was the hard part, was just actually like opening the book and reading like more than 2 pages. I'm not going to be talking too much of Paper Towns because I am hoping to do a book and movie review, because since I have read the book now, I can go see the movie, which is like kind of like the only really reason I push myself to read it, so I can go see the movie. So I'm hoping to do a combo review video on what I thought of the book and the movie, so be looking out for that, because hopefully that's coming and I'll be talking more in depth about the book. So while I do think it was a cool concept, I don't think it was executed super well, so I ended up giving Paper Towns 3.5 out of 5 stars. So these are the books that I read in the month of August. I read 5 books, which is not the most I could have read, but I didn't really read much in July and I was kind of in a slump, so I feel like now I'm back in the reading groove and I have set my sights high for my September TBR. But yeah, I'm really happy that I read all the books I said I wanted to read. And overall it was a pretty good reading month. So those are all the books that I read in the month of August. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys read in the month of August and what your favorite book was this month. My favorite book was definitely Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. It was so good. And then a close second was An Ember in the Ashes. Alright, I will see you guys in my next video. Until then, keep on reading.